Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is starting to move, so it's another reason to look at it. We shouldn't get too excited. Yesterday as well, we didn't really get the 5 waves we needed to confirm the uptrend. We only had 3 from the low here in the wave A to the high in the wave B. So it was not a sustainable breakout, and the move down confirmed that. Now, this looked so far very corrective, but now we see a nice green candle here to the upside, right? So there's a few ways how this now can be counted, and let's take a look at a few options here. But in the very short term, really, the breakout points, they are basically relevant to all of them. So let's start actually in the short term, and then I give you sort of just a higher level idea of what different wave patterns could occur here and what the next steps might be. Generally, we need to understand that in this move to the downside, the way I count this at the moment, which is a 5-wave move to the upside here, an impulse, that we had here a wave 1 that peaked at around 19,975, then a wave 2 to the downside, a wave 3 to the upside, and now we would be in this sort of wave 4 to the downside, right? That's sort of the idea, and then a wave 5 to the upside. So this is sort of the idea. Important to understand that Bitcoin still has space here in a wave 4 to the downside. It can go down lower. It can max out this support area in yellow, which goes down to 19,875. Now, to be honest, we should not break into the price range of wave 1 that is at 970 roughly. So ideally you don't go below 19,970. It would then force us to count this as a diagonal pattern, or something different might be going on here, which we're going to talk about in a minute, like a 1-2 setup, right? But in the very short term, I still expect further upside for Bitcoin, especially as long as we're holding this yellow support area. Now, if we lose this area, that would put some serious doubt on and challenge the bullish idea here, the short term, let's say the short term idea. Generally, just a general note about the Bitcoin chart, we still have a much harder time to justify and count a bullish wave pattern here for Bitcoin if we compare that to Ethereum. The Ethereum chart as a whole just looks much, much stronger. Now, with Bitcoin, it is possible to justify such a bullish idea here, short term at least, but it's just not on the same level at the moment as Ethereum. It is just what it is. I just have to mention it, So it just is a much weaker chart. Okay, but let's assume, we are in this pattern. Maybe the wave 4 is already done. How can we count this, and what would be the signals that something's turning around here? Because anywhere in these areas, I would normally expect a reversal. So the last reversal we had here, which worked out. Here we missed it by around $30, I think, on this target. So the idea is we have come into this next reversal area, and we are reversing now. We've left it already to the upside, but does that mean that this wave 4 is already done? Well, at the moment, I can't confirm that. We have a good sign in that we broke above the trend line. Yes, that is sort of the first, okay, I need to pay attention. But I showed you that in the Ethereum video, you can create a channel if you connect wave B and 5 here. Or not a channel, but it's more, with Bitcoin, it looks more like a descending, broadening wedge. Now, we only have 2 touch points here. But the point is, with these 2 touch points, you could possibly get, if you connect those 2 significant highs with each other, a resistance point here at around 20,735, roughly. Depends a bit on when we reach that level. But the first real indication that we have reversed would be if we break above this trend line. What we then would need, and that would be good confirmation, would be a break above the B wave high. That is at 20,840. And then sort of the last confirmation we would need would be a move above 21,090, that previous high. And then I think we are moving up in wave 5 of C of 2, because my primary expectation is that at some point there, Bitcoin's upside move will get exhausted and we will come down and make lower lows. That is still the primary expectation. However, there are other counts which also allow for further upside. So with Bitcoin, for me, it's a bit of a wait and see, right? I'm not trading it aggressively. I'm not, looking here for a very interesting trade setup. Of course, these smaller setups do work, but then I would rather focus on a chart that works better, like Ethereum. Bitcoin is still a bit of a messy chart, obviously. So yeah, this was the primary expectation. I gave you the key levels, right? Then there's bullish interpretation as well, where we say from the June low, we moved up in sort of 5 waves here. It would be a diagonal pattern. Then we came down in wave 2, and we would now be in a wave 3 into the direction of 29 to 30K. There will be a wave 4 down and a wave 5 up. That is the count that also works currently for Ethereum. And then we have a different interpretation where we're saying that Bitcoin is actually in a massive triangle. So also here we expect further upside. We talked about that yesterday and the day before, that Bitcoin is actually in, so let me just open that. Bitcoin is in a large triangle, which if I zoom out again here, A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, a very large triangle that could lead to more months of sideways movement, and that would even allow Bitcoin to get all the way up to 25.2K. Here in the short term, we could also count this as a triangle, yeah, as an A, B, C, A, B, C. We could now be in the D wave, okay, and there would be another wave E to the downside before we break out to the upside to finish off the larger C wave of the triangle. Now, this just, what you need to understand here, this also suggests, short-term upside, and we could really be in this sort of triangle pattern here, right? But here I would actually assume that wave C is already done now. Talked about that yesterday, I think, in the video, or the day before. I gave you here a support area for the wave C. We reached it and reversed sort of out of it, which is also important, okay? So there's different ways of interpreting this, and now we could be looking at the wave D, a possible wave D high. What would be a target for that after the target for wave C worked out? Let's take a look at that. It's just a different way of interpreting it. I don't know which one is the correct wave count. I'm currently leaning towards the other one, but the triangle is actually working out quite nicely. Target here would be, we need to stay obviously below the below the high of the wave B. And the target would be the 61.8 extension that is at roughly $20,900 US. Yeah? So take a look at that level. That will be a key resistance level as well, especially if this triangle is working out. And if I go back to the original count that I showed you in the beginning, there is also an interpretation where, where I'm not looking at this as a wave 3 and 4, but where I'm actually looking at this as a 1-2 setup. Yeah. So we need to see also that would allow for further upside potential. So the point here is, as long as we're holding the yellow support box, it's all good. Yeah, we can continue our way to the upside. And I'll definitely keep you updated. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.